Now, let me invite Dr. Vijay Reddy to talk about the topic Asteya, one of the key codes of conduct in Maharishi Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga. Vijay Uncle is the president of Project Self and working as a senior director in a pharmaceutical company. He is also an ardent student of Vedanta and Yoga.
Namaste. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I thank you, first of all, I thank you, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar and the team in India, and Karthik Prasad and the team in the United States for organizing this global event on the occasion of International Day of Yoga. I'm honored I'm honored and privileged to be part of this event, global event, and thank you all for the invitation. So I am asked to speak on Asteya. Asteya is translated as non-stealing. Asteya is one of 5 yamas that are the social ethics prescribed by Maharishi Patanjali in Ashtanga Yoga. So those 5 yamas are the ahimsa, that's non-violence, satya, the speaking truth, the asteya, non-stealing, brahmacharya, which is translated as a moderation, sometimes as a celibacy, but probably it's a moderation, and aparigraha, that is non-attachment, generosity. So asteya, non-stealing. So stealing means the picture that comes to us is like men in uniform breaking into the bank or some store, stealing stuff like that. None of us who are participating in this meeting would do that. Most of us also would not thieve. Like in fact, most of us work very hard to support our living and also help others to succeed. But the asteya has much more deeper meaning. We commit stealing in a more subtler ways. For example, when you take services in our day-to-day life, we don't pay for them. For example, when you visit a temple, you are deeply devotional and you go to the temple, you pray there, but you don't donate. You just come out, basically that. So that's also called stealing, that is. Sometimes we bargain too much, especially the opposing party is a weaker one, then we bargain too much. For example, when I visit India, sometimes I watched that there was a vendor selling coconuts, green coconuts, right? He's selling per one, for example, like a 10 rupees, right? And then the customer asked them, can you give for 7 rupees or 8 rupees? So they bargain a lot. But in the very next to that, in a shop, for example, there is somebody selling a Coke. It sells like a 50 rupees, right? He wouldn't bargain at all. In fact, he would pay the 50 rupees and even pay 1 rupee or couple of rupees off as a tip, that is. So you see this dishonesty in there, that is. So this is also called stealing, basically. And also there is intellectual stealing that goes on in the work environment, for example. If you have subordinates who may have contributed to the projects, but as a manager, you may not give due credit to your subordinates, right? This is an intellectual stealing. Recently in the United States, there was a program called PPP, I think the Paycheck Protection Plan or something, under which US government distributed millions, probably billions of dollars, right? There are many of the so-called CEOs and the companies claimed a lot of money, even though none of their employees lost jobs, right? This is outright cheating, that is, right? In fact, the people who did not take money as looked down upon as the fools. So this is the society we live in. This is all cheating. Probably even more subtler one is that even though our own money, but we accumulate a lot of stuff. For example, closet full of clothes, for example, right? Hundreds of pairs of clothes, dozens of shoes, more and more money when you accumulate, even though it is. It's also called stealing, because if you don't use them, someone else, needy people, could be using that. So Asteya has a very has a deeper meaning, and by this definition, probably some of us, at least some of us, probably violate this Asteya and probably stealing other ones. So why do we have this inherent tendency to steal? This is because deep down we feel deficient. Deep down we feel insufficient. This sense of lack, this sense of feeling that I am not good enough, creates desires in us. It creates want in us. And then it makes us to go after things. Oftentimes in illegal means, even stealing that. We go on accumulating more and more and more. And also this society doesn't really help us. It conditions us to desire more, accumulate more, with the more money, everything, more of everything, that is. So as you may have realized, the desires cannot be satisfied by fulfilling the desires, because they create more desires. The desires are like a fire. If you throw ghee into the fire to fulfill the flames are only increased, that is. So therefore the desires can never be satisfied in that one, that is. So how do we practice Asteya then? So we need to be really, really careful, watchful, our day-to-day activities. First of all, we need to calm our mind through meditation or other means. By calming your mind, you see things clearly the way they are, not conditioned by the surroundings or societal affairs. With calm mind, practicing Asteya becomes effortless. Maharishi Patanjali says, Asteya pratishtayam sarva ratna upasthanam. This is radically different thinking. That means by establishing in non-stealing, all wealth comes to you. Not by stealing, by establishing in non-stealing, that is, right? Like every aspect of yoga, the yama of Asteya is a call to transformation. Asteya is calling us to cultivate a way of life that is full of abundance, gratitude, so much so that the idea of stealing doesn't even arise, or the idea of stealing is not even imaginable, that is. See, the whole world is there for you to utilize this one. So in a few moments ago, we described Asteya as in terms of don'ts, the negatives. Don't do this, don't accumulate, right? Don't hoard the things that you don't need it, right? But we're talking about the do's, that is. What we should do, think of abundance. Be grateful to what you have, that, right? So when you connect, this is possible only when you connect to the whole, when you are inclusive, that one, right? We can think of many examples, right? But I think of what comes to my mind is the Mahesh Yogi. Once Mahesh Yogi was asked by a journalist how much he's worth, what is his wealth, how much he accumulated. As you all know, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, as he was called, introduced transcendental meditation to the West. He worked tirelessly until his death. He died at the age of 90, right? He claimed no superpowers. He only he said that he was benefited by this transcendental meditation, which he learned from his guru. And the guru told him to go and share this meditation, whoever in the world would like to learn that. So he trained millions on this transcendental meditation. Thousands of the people, trainers were created, and many schools, universities were established. So during this process, he accumulated a lot of wealth as well, that is probably exceeding $1 billion. So this Western journalist asked him, what is his worth? How much is no value? So the answer that Mahesh Yogi gave, perhaps beyond this journalist's grasp, I would think. So apparently the Mahesh Yogi said that he doesn't own anything. He has no money at all. He doesn't feel that he has owned anything. At the same time, he is not limited by any resources. If he wants to establish a training center, then the resources required would materialize from somewhere, either from donations or from businesses or the training centers. So all the resources required for that particular event would materialize. So this is like by establishing in non-stealing, all wealth, material and spiritual, will come to you. So meditate, calm your mind, practice Asteya. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vijay, Reddy.